Hello, everyone. My name is Jessie, and I'm going to talk to you about how I decided I want to be a 3D character artist and share with you some of my research. So, what the heck was I doing last semester? So, last semester, for the start of my senior thesis, I was doing all kinds of illustrations based in a world that I had created called Manto Bog. And I made a bunch of characters and weapons and props. And then I found out about the World of Warcraft student art contest. And I found out about it in October of last year. And I really wanted to do it because I knew I couldn't do it after school since I'm graduating. And the problem is that you have to concept something and you have to 3D model it. And I had never 3D modeled anything in my life before. So, I did have a mentor, which helped a lot. My mentor was Eric Hibbler. He's really great. I went through the process of concepting my characters and came up with these three that I chose from. And then for the rest of the semester in my mentorship, I practiced doing little things in 3D and finding any excuse to use it for projects as well. And then over winter break, I started in on modeling, and I'm going to whisk through this process just because we're going to look at it one more time. Here's the high-res sculpt of my mount for the contest, and another close-up look. And then I retopologized it, just basically lowering the resolution for the contest parameters. I UV unwrapped it. I baked my texture maps. And I painted it in Substance Painter. And then I rigged it, which turned out okay. But all of this was new information for me. It was a really intense process, and some of my advice is when you're doing something brand new, I basically secluded myself and didn't talk to my friends or anyone. I was just like stuck at my computer. My wrists were like wrecked because I was working all the time. And my advice to you is keep talking to your friends and keep talking to people. Don't seclude yourself and take care of your body. So throughout this process too, I made a list of YouTube videos that really helped me. I do have a PDF of everything that I learned that I've been keeping and adding to. I always add to it. So I'm always adding to this PDF. I'm always adding to this list of videos. And if you would like that, please hit me up. So here is the final product of my 3D model. I named it the Fossorial Forager, and he lives in the World of Warcraft. So this was really fun. It did not win, but I honestly was not worried about that. I wasn't really in the contest to be a winner. I learned so absolutely much throughout this whole process and met tons of people. The 3D modeling community is totally dope. People are so friendly, and it's been really awesome so far. So when my mentorship ended last semester, I started a new one through the Concept Artists Association, which everyone here can do if you're interested in concept art. You just have to pay the $15 membership fee, and then the mentorship is completely free. So my mentor this year is Luis Carrasco. He works at Terraform. He is a concept artist and an art director. And he taught me that you can use 3D in concept art. And I was like, well, that's pretty dope, because I was doing concept art and I just learned how to mess around in 3D. So I thought that was really great. And then I started to do, he set us on the task of doing industry research. He had us pick our top 10 studios, so I picked all of mine based on stylization values and a history of hand-painted textures. And the difference between hand-painted and hard surface textures is basically hand-painted is exactly how it sounds. You're painting the textures instead of using photos or nodes as much. That's my best way to describe it. I'm still trying to figure this all out. But And then from the top 3 studios that I picked, he had us pick 2 people from each, do research on them, and look up interviews, how they got their start, try to contact them. I totally recommend doing this type of research. It really helped me out. And then he had us pick 3 versions of what we want our art to look like. So I picked Fanny Verne, who works at Blizzard, Near, who works at Airship, and then Daniel Oriv, who did work at Wildlife. I don't know if he works there anymore, but his models are amazing. Throughout this process, I was keeping a lot of notes. I was doing a lot of research, and this is just to show you some of the research that I was doing. If you want to talk about any of this, hit me up. I don't have time to talk about it now. But through that research, I learned that most of the studios that I wanted to pursue were using a 3D program called Maya, and I had been working in Blender previously. So I started doing a tutorial in Maya of a wizard's table, and here is the result of a lot of renders and a lot of tweaking, and a little bit of Photoshop paint over for fun. I painted a skull in the flask and everything. So this gave me, I mean, it was like a 4-hour long video of a tutorial. It took me 2 days to do, but it's so good. It's also on that PDF that I'm totally willing to share. Awesome. So then going back to what I had done in the first semester of senior year, these concepts that I had been creating, I created all these little mushroom people, and I fell in love with one of them. And that's Vela. So I spent some time sketching Vela. I've been drawing Vela way too much. I just like everyone with their OCs, there's like something about it. You just seriously fall in love with your OCs. They're like your heart. And so I decided I wanted to 3D model Vela. And I started to sketch out Vela and figure out all of her shapes and forms, because for me, it really helps to know exactly what I'm going to do going into the 3D modeling process if I have everything fleshed out. So this is the final concept for that. And then I started to build her form in Maya. And this is her form as it was in Maya after I built it. And then I started to learn Zbrush, because I learned about some really helpful features that Zbrush has that were going to help me out through this process, like masking. You can mask off a part of your model and then extract for armor so that the new form will fit your model skin tight. So I use that. And by the way, Zbrush UI is totally different from any other 3D program, and it was really weird to learn, but it's really great. And then after that, I took my high res and back into Maya, and I retopologized it. So I basically reduced the resolution. I was trying to fit the same parameters as the contest that I was doing for practice. After that, I started to UV unwrap it, basically cutting the pieces apart like a sewing pattern so that I could texture it. And I baked my maps in between this and then applied them to the model in this program. And this is Substance Painter. And here's a little bit of process of kind of how that works. It's a little jerky because my computer was about to die, kind of like just running this program and trying to film. It was just nuts. But anyway, so I painted her forms in Substance Painter. And then I took her back into Maya and rigged her, installed her bones, and then posed her and learned about something called weight painting, which was super helpful. It basically tells the program how much each bone controls the mesh. So here is her form with her textures, her hand-painted textures unposed. And here she is posed. I really am excited about how this turned out. It's not perfect, but I just going through this process again and like having better results and going through it a little bit faster than last time was really encouraging for me. So what are my plans after graduation? So I want to make a little stand for her, like down in the left corner. I want to make a little environment stand to kind of show what part of the environment she's from to just finish her out. And then I found out that I can do the Blizzard Student Contest again if I take CGMA courses, which I was already kind of thinking about doing. I'll put that on that PDF too, the CGMA link. And so I'm going to take a ZBrush course and a hand-painted textures course and do the Blizzard contest again. And then I have illustration commissions to do that I've been holding off on that I really need to get cracking on. I will probably be streaming those on Twitch, which I took a pause on and I'm excited to get back to. And then I really want to just like do smaller models, sketching, and practice the basics and really focus in on improving my skills. I want to thank everyone here for everything I learned. I want to, honestly, if I had come here just to meet the people that I met here, it would have totally been worth every second. I loved meeting all of you. Everyone was super welcoming. I forgot to mention I'm a transfer, so I transferred in junior year, so I've only been here a couple years, and it's just been absolutely incredible. Please feel free to always contact me, and thank you for everything.